Welcome students to another lecture of Social Science Class 8. This is the concluding lecture of chapter Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nation. In the previous two lectures, we have studied the beginning of modern education, Lord Macauley's Minutes, Wood's Dispatch, and the drawbacks of English education system. In this lecture, we are going to study the national education, the contribution of our national leaders in the field of education, and we will do the case study of Baroda and Aligarh universities. So let us start the lecture. Many Indians were critical about the kind of education that was being imparted by the British authorities. The main reason behind this was they were portraying Western culture superior and Indian culture inferior. So basically, why national leaders also started promoting the education in India? Because Britishers have laid a plan for the whole education system in India. But that education nowhere promoted the love for the country. That education nowhere promoted the loyalty towards the country or towards respect towards the art and culture of India. So the national leaders like Gandhiji, Rabindranath Tagore, they all were very critical about this education and they wanted to start their own education system. So here we will see the contribution of Gandhiji and Rabindranath Tagore in detail. Gandhiji started many education centers based on the principle of Nai Talim, and his most important center was Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. Now, what is the principle of Nai Talim? According to Nai Talim, according to this principle, work is not separate from education. which means that a student needs to be educated, and at the same time he or she should be given some kind of vocational training. Why vocational training is required? Because that is going to make the student self-sufficient. कि अगर कोई स्टूडेंट है उसको एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं भी मिलता है ब्रिटिश अथॉरिटीज के यहाँ पे, देन ऑल्सो इफ ही नोज सम पेटी थिंग्स लाइक कॉबलिंग और टेलरिंग, देन ही कैन सर्वाइव बिकॉज ही इज सेल्फ सफिशिएंट नाउ. सो गांधी जी प्रमोटेड वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग एज वेल एज द एजुकेशन. Apart from this, he also promoted the patriotism among the students. Here we need to understand these two terms. Patriotism and nationalism are different terms. Patriotism means that you are faithful to your country, there is love for your country. But nationalism means a feeling of collective belonging. Since under British authorities, we were not one united nation. We were divided into many princely states and provincial states and presidential states. So here, under the leadership of Gandhi ji, all the students were being shown as united, or a feeling of collective belonging was being inculcated in them. So this was one basic property of the education being imparted by Gandhi ji. And another is respect for own culture. Modern British education was completely based on the modern science and technology, and they were not promoting Indian art and culture or the literature of Asia. So he started Oriental literature also in his education system. Now we will see the contribution of Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was also one of the very renowned educators of his time, and he started Vishwa Bharati University. In 1901 in Calcutta. Now, you must have heard that Rabindranath Tagore has received a Nobel Prize in Literature for for his book Gitanjali, which is a collection of poems, and he received that prize in 1913. And with the proceeds of the money he received from the Nobel Prize, he started the full-fledged College of Vishwa Bharati University in 1921. So he set up the university in 1901, but the education was formally started in 1921. Now, what kind of education was being provided here? Ravindranath Tagore was basically promoting the art and culture, fine arts education, and as well as the positive aspects of modern science and technology. So, there was both kind of education being provided here, modern science plus art and literature. Okay, now we will see the next topic, that is growth of science. Growth of science was gradual in India, but the country was not remained untouched of science. Science was basically promoted by Britishers, and many organizations or many congress were set up just to promote science. So first was Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. It was opened in Calcutta in 1876. And Indian Science Congress was opened in 1920. By this time, many scientists have also emerged in India of national accord, like C.V. Raman, J.C. Bose, etc. And they have contributed a lot in the field of modern science. Okay, now we will do the case study of Baroda and Aligarh. So Baroda is a small city in Gujarat, and the time when education was being promoted there, the ruler was Maharaja Sayaji Rao III. Maharaja Sayaji Rao III has made the primary education compulsory in Baroda. So far, we have studied that Britishers have never paid attention to the primary education in India. They were more interested in opening up higher education centers like colleges and universities. Why so? Because they were interested in educating the rich class of Indians most. So they have opened up colleges and universities everywhere, and since no attention was being paid to the primary education, the illiteracy level was quite high in India. And here Maharaja Sayaji Rao was the first ruler to make the primary education compulsory. That is why the case study of Baroda is taken in your curriculum. Now, Baroda is a classic example of promoting the education from the very grassroots levels, like from primary only. They have made the primary education compulsory, then they have opened up a college, and then that college was converted into the university. Now, what is the difference between college and university? College is basically affiliated to the university, and college is the subset of university. Like every state in India has got their own technical universities, and most of the colleges are engineering colleges are affiliated to that university. So initially Baroda College was opened in 1881, and here the regional education was being imparted. जो भी गुजरात के अंदर पर्टिकुलर रीजन में कुछ फाइन आर्ट्स के से रिलेटेड एजुकेशन, लैंग्वेज से डांस, फोक सॉन्ग्स एंड कल्चर से रिलेटेड एजुकेशन बड़ौदा कॉलेज में इनिशियली दिया जाता था, और इसके जो प्रिंसिपल थे वो थे डॉक्टर जैक्सन, एंड दिस वाज द फर्स्ट कॉलेज ऑफ इट्स काइंड जहां पर करिकुलम जो है वो एनुअली रिवाइज किया जाता था. जो भी मैटर्स ऑब्सोलेट हो गए हैं उसे डिलीट करके जो भी नए आपके सिस्टम में मैटर्स आए हैं वो ऐड किया जाता था. लेटर ऑन महाराजा सयाजी राव यूनिवर्सिटी में से कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया, एंड अब यहाँ पर सिर्फ आर्ट एंड कल्चर से रिलेटेड एजुकेशन नहीं, बहुत सारी अलग फील्ड्स में भी एजुकेशन इम्पार्ट की जाने लग गई, जैसे मॉडर्न साइंस as well as the previous fine arts. And this university was basically known for two reasons. First is their faculty of modern science and fine arts, and secondly, it was the first residential education program. That means that students can reside there and can get the education. Now we will see the case study of Aligarh. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan played the key role in imparting education in Aligarh among the Muslim community. Basically, he believed that Muslims have remained excluded from the whole Indian society because they have not been imparted any English education or modern education till now. So he wanted to bring them into the society, into the mainstream society, and for that he started Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh. So Anglo-Oriental College was started in Aligarh to impart education in the field of humanities, science and literature. And later on, this university was named Aligarh Muslim University, or AMU, Aligarh Muslim University. Apart from Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, many other leaders also promoted Muslim education, and AMU has given many important Muslim leaders in the country. Apart from Baroda and Aligarh, we have also got many leaders like Raja Ram Mohan Roy. They have also promoted a lot of education in India. They have basically reformed the society, and they have basically reduced all the evils from the society like sati practices. Thank you. This is all.